Hello. How y'all doing on this thankful Thursday? How are y'all doing? Hello, hello. Let me know who's here in the comments. Can't really see. Hello. How y'all doing? I don't know what happened to my little music in the background. Let me see. Alright, now let me see if I can keep it playing. It is not playing. Hello. Who's here? Who's here? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let me know who's on in the comments. Who is joining me tonight? Who is here? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I'm trying to figure out how I can bring people on with the computer. Say hello in the comments. Hello. How y'all doing? I think they're gonna cut me off. Hello. How y'all doing? Say hello in the comments. Let me know who's here. Who's joining me tonight? Let me see how I can get these comments. I want them to just say who's here. I don't want. Hello, hello, hello. I can't tell who's popping on and popping off. How are y'all doing? Okay. I don't understand what Facebook talking about. Hello, how y'all doing? How does that work? I don't know what that is. I'm right here popping stuff. Hello, hello, welcome to PCMinistries Thursday Night Live, where we deal with what you feel from the inside out. I'm excited you all are joining me. I wish I could see who's on, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do it anyway. But get started in a few minutes. This always cuts off mine. How y'all doing? Hello. go. I can see it both ways. Can't see both. I'm trying to do this social media thing, y'all. Getting a little better. I may have me a team coming up soon that can help us sister out. How are y'all doing? It is 8:08. Okay, it's not working. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Turn this volume. Yeah, my volume is up. Hello. Hey, girl. Hey, girl, hey. Zetra Radon. I'm trying to figure out how to bring people on with the computer, and I can't figure it out. I've been disconnected something. Hola. Make sure you share the video. Let people know we're on here. Get started in about 2 minutes. A little casual conversation tonight on some self-sabotage. Hello, hello. How are y'all doing? Y'all have a good Thursday? What y'all do today? I was off. There was no PC Ministries office today. And I had a friend take me out for brunch this morning, and it was very lovely. Very, very lovely. Just sit and talk and chat and cried and laughed and cut food. And it felt good. What did y'all do today? What did y'all do today? How was your Thursday? Y'all ready for this juicy topic? Probably won't be on long. Working homecoming. So, oh yeah, I remember that. Homecoming is this weekend? Yeah, that's this weekend, right? Homecoming for Rockledge. Hey, Cheney. Hey, girl, hey. Zetra is homecoming this weekend at Rockledge. Ooh, I remember that. Hey, girl, hey. Oh, wow. Ooh. I remember all them homecomings, hair and dresses and shoes and lashes. Oh, she's on the homecoming court. Oh my gosh. Where's Zetra? Is it at home? I haven't been to a homecoming court in so long. Yeah, she's on homecoming court. Text me the details for that. Zetra. Zetra. I may want to come. Wait. For who, Cheney? Anaya. Now I know some years done passed, but what grade is Anaya in, Cheney? Oh my Lord. These kids. Is it the game? It's a game tomorrow night, Zetra? Text me all the information. The baby girl. Right, but what grade is she in, Cheney? Ooh, yo. I done missed the whole homecoming dance. Okay. But what grade, Cheney? Okay. Oh my God. That baby in high school, Cheney? Oh my God, these kids are growing up on us, y'all. I was talking with Sean today and I didn't even realize Talia was in high school. Zetra baby getting ready to graduate. Mm-mm. That's too fast. My god baby is in college. I got nerve to be a freshman in Tampa in college. I mean, ooh, ooh. Y'all and these kids. Well, I'm so glad you all joined me tonight. I'm thanking y'all for taking the time out of, I'm sure, your busy schedules to join PC Ministries live tonight, where we deal with what you feel from the inside out. I just want to thank you all for your support and popping on. Please share this video so people can get this word. Yeah, it is too much. It's a lot. Ooh, and y'all remember, hey Elijah. Tell Elijah I said hi. I'm sure he probably just as tall and handsome. We got to catch up, Cheney. But again, I thank you all for tuning in to PC Ministries Live tonight, where we deal with what you feel from the inside out. We have a juicy topic tonight. We want to talk about some self-sabotage. Anybody ever dealt with self-sabotage? Have any of you all dealt with self-sabotage? Has anybody ever tried to sabotage you, or have you experienced any of your own self-sabotaging behaviors? Let me know in the comments so I know what we're dealing with. I know I've had some self-sabotaging behaviors myself, so I know what it feel like. I know what it look like, and it's an uncomfortable thing, and it kind of makes you face reality. If you are a person that wants to learn about it, if you are a person that wants to know how to stop it, then it is a process. Yeah, Zetra, doing it to yourself. Yeah, I have realized my own self-sabotagery, if you will. And it doesn't make us bad people, especially if you have self-sabotaging behaviors. Now, if you're a person who do self-sabotaging, you got some problems. You got an issue. I'm just gonna say it. PC Ministries deal with what you feel from the inside out, and we have a very tight but right approach. And if you are a person that goes around sabotaging other people, or sowing discord and stuff like that, trying to sabotage somebody's reputation, character, job, whatever it is, you got a problem. You got a problem. Yeah, I said it. You got a problem. So we want to talk about it. Sometimes we have self-sabotaging behaviors that we are aware of, and sometimes we really don't. And then sometimes we are responding to things or having these behaviors that are self-sabotaging that we don't even know why. So again, I'm not coming to you because I have all the answers or I have arrived. This is just a candid conversation about some areas that I have seen, mentoring women, talking to various women, questions in my coaching, all of that. So I just wanted to do a live about it to bring some awareness to it. Also, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month for PC Ministries, and those of you know that I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021. I am done with all of my chemo, my mastectomies, and my radiation, and I am currently awaiting reconstruction. So far, so good. A year out of chemotherapy, and I am cancer free. So, woohoo! God is good. God is good. But I want to encourage you to get your mammograms. Someone told me that, man, I don't do mammograms because them things hurt. I'm going to tell you what hurts. Getting stuck with a needle every week for 6 months. Having lab work done every week. Having scanxiety because you don't know if the scan is going to show more cancer or not. All because you don't want to go get a mammogram. That's what hurts. Neuropathy in my fingers and my toes. That's what hurts. Having my breast removed. That hurts. Radiation burns. That hurts. So a mammogram, if I can just have a mammogram and be okay, I'll do it. I'll take a mammogram of all of this. I sure will. So go get your mammogram. If you need me to go with you to be support, I'll go with you. But y'all, please get checked. Don't be afraid to go to the doctor, especially if you have a history in your family I understand that fear more than anything now, but you cannot. Early detection does save lives. I did my own self exam during COVID, the era right when COVID started, and I thank God I did, because that's how I found the lump in my own breast. And finding the lump and realizing that it was something strange, and then getting over the fear of going to my OBGYN to have him check. Okay, and it saved my life, y'all. Finding it early. If I would have waited and waited and waited and waited and kept putting off my appointments, and I'll just go next year, whatever, whatever, I may not have the outcome that I'm having right now. So I admonish you, I beg you, please go and have your mammograms. Please get your pap smears. Please go and have your thyroid checks. Check anything that you feel you need to be doing. You need to be having yearly checkups. Yearly checkups for you and your children. And I know for those of us that have had multiple children, we did it on the month of our birth every year to keep up with it. We did our dental, our health, our checkups, all of that on the month of the birth. That way, happy birthday. So if you need some tools on how to do that, try that, and it'll help you keep up with it. That's part of the birthday package in my house. Your birthday come, you know you're going to the dentist, and you're going to the doctor to get a checkup. You're getting your thyroid checked or whatever checked, iron, all of that. So please, y'all, get your mammograms. Encourage your husbands to get their tests done and all of that, because again, early detection saves lives, and you don't want the shoulda, coulda, woulda for fear. Because you were fearful. So that's my breast cancer talk for tonight. Go get your mammogram. All right, so let's get into this self-sabotage. We're not going to be before you long. I just want to share some information about self-sabotage, what I've researched and what I've found. There's a whole bunch of information on self-sabotage. So some of my notes have, most people aren't even aware that they do self-sabotage, that they self-sabotage. But the root of self-sabotage is 9 times out of 10 fear. That is the main root cause of a self-sabotaging type person, or the reason we self-sabotage. Sabotage means to deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Deliberately. That's when I want to sabotage something. I am deliberately destroying, damaging, or obstructing something. Stopping something from happening, or trying my best to cause something not to happen, or cause a diversion or something like that. I'm doing it intentionally. When we self-sabotage, it's an inner type thing, and it's when parts of our personality act in conflict with another part of our personality. Okay, and that's kind of self-explanatory. You're conflicted on the inside, but again, it's based in fear. It's based out of fear. Okay, we're going to get more into that as we go along. And when you have an intentional sabotage, it's a deliberate action aimed at weakening something. Those that try to sabotage, they have an aim. Sometimes, like in the workplace, we've all experienced sabotage in the workplace, where people try to go behind you and do this and that, or try to discredit your character and all that kind of stuff. Or even in friendships, sometimes we have friendships where our friends try to sabotage. Watch them circles, where they try to make you look bad so they look good, or they try to sow discord with other people so they won't like you, or they won't welcome you, or what have you. Again, it's based out of fear. It's based out of fear. When a person who knowingly sabotages or does that kind of stuff, they like to try to hide their identity, because they don't want you to know that they're sabotaging you. It's a weak person. So if you are a person who tries to sabotage other people because you have fear, you're jealous, their presence makes you insecure, what have you. I was talking to someone today, and they was the new person on the block, and they came in and was impacted, and somebody at the job got jealous and started trying to undermine. So if you're a person that does that, we're gonna have to build our self-esteem and our own confidence and deal with what we feel from the inside to see why you feel the need to try to sabotage other people, or do things to other people to make you look bad, make you look good. So if you find yourself doing that, call me, because we need to talk about that, because that's not healthy, and that's really pointing the finger at you. So let me ask you this question, because sometimes people are conscious about their sabotaging, and some people aren't aware that they self sabotage. And again, we want to focus on self sabotaging, okay? Because again, PC Ministries, we deal with what you feel from the inside out. So we want to talk about self sabotaging, because we want to be able to stop doing this to ourselves, and realize, get to the root of why we do it, and what causes us, what triggers us to self sabotage. So I'm gonna ask you these questions, and y'all answer them in the comments. I want this to be interactive, okay? And I appreciate y'all for coming on. Hey, Isabella. So let me ask you this question: do you often feel unworthy, unloved, or not good enough? Have you ever felt that way? Do you usually start things and not finish? Are you indecisive and fearful? I keep looking here because I have my notes on my other computer, y'all. Are you indecisive and fearful? I have been. Do your actions usually have a negative effect in your relationships, your education, or your job? Have y'all ever sabotaged a relationship? We're getting at a little bit. Yeah. Do you often put things off that you know you need to do? Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who sabotaged the relationship and you couldn't understand what happened? What's going on? I mean, I've been married for 28 years, so prior to. Yeah. Yeah. Put some of your self-sabotaging behaviors in the comments so other people can see that they're not alone. Like, what are some of the things you would do to self-sabotage certain things? I know for me, I'll start. For me, for a long time, I regretted not coming out of the military with my degree. My bachelor's and a master's. I have regretted that. Just I'm always in somebody's business, girl. But I always regretted coming out of the military and not having my degree, because I should have. There was no reason why. Now, it's given me a complex because of the gifting that I have, and I've had some amazing jobs where you would think I was degree, or y'all, I don't know how to say it, but just jobs where you wouldn't believe I didn't have a degree, and I was just able, because degree don't really make you. It enhances you, but it doesn't make you. But I have been in positions to where if I would have had the degree, I would have gotten promoted or gotten paid more money because I had a degree. So I went through those types of things, and then when God started calling me to minister like this in this arena, it was like 2004. And I would start doing little women's events and things like that, and it would be like one person there, or I would put the flyers out, and at that time it wasn't really social media. We were taking them to the stores and putting them up and sending them to churches and stuff like that, and when nobody show up, so I just stopped, because I was like, well, maybe God didn't call me to do this, knowing He did, and not understanding that there's timing, there's other things that I could possibly have done, whatever the situation would be. I know He called me, but the way I sabotaged it, I just stopped. I didn't do it no more. I just wouldn't. Or if I'm in a church somewhere, this is my experience. I've been in situations when I've been in rooms with women who were very, very, very educated, degrees and masters and all of this. And because I didn't, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. Or I would come up with a reason not to attend, or I would get there, but I would get busy over there doing that and not allowing myself to engage, or I felt less than. It had nothing to do with any of those women at all. It was my own self-sabotaging behavior. I wouldn't even want to be around because I felt less than. I didn't feel like I was as good as, because I didn't have my degree. So I could have potentially missed out on some connections, some wonderful relationships, some good conversation, some tools, or anything that I could have gained from being around those women. But because of my insecurities, right, Zetra? Insecurities and my own personal regret, I wouldn't do it because I didn't feel like I belonged. Those are some of my self-sabotaging behaviors that I had in the past. I don't have that problem no more, y'all. Y'all see your girl? I don't have that problem no more. I try to cast mine down quick. And a lot of times we have things that trigger our self-sabotaging inner demon, and sometimes we will mask, the self-sabotaging behaviors really mask the fear that we have. So my fear of not being accepted, or not being good enough, or not being worthy enough to be in the room with these women caused me to do something else, or not go, or get busy over here, or pretend to be busy. And that was a mask. I wanted to be over there. I knew I belonged there, but I didn't feel because of the insecurity and the fear. There are several reasons why we could be stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. A lot of it has to do with lack of confidence. Fear is the main one. Procrastination. Sometimes we put things off because we don't feel capable. What Zetra said, I would dim my light and not be authentic who I am because of other people's opinion. And what I learned about that, Zetra, is sometimes we have our own complex and them people ain't thinking about us. But because the way we look at ourselves, we water ourselves down, or don't go, or don't participate, or what have you, because of the way we look and the way we think of ourselves. And where did that come from? We always talking about, well, they don't this and that. No, let's take that finger and point that finger back at us. We have to take accountability of our own actions and how we do this to ourselves. Again, we're not talking about people who sabotage. We're talking about self-sabotage. We want to find where we are self-sabotaging ourselves. Sometimes we find where we make a bad decision and something goes wrong, and how we sabotage that what we were trying to make a decision on. We just don't even do it anymore. Where you're sabotaging the success of your business, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, because you get one bad grade in school and you just want to drop out. Well, why would you sabotage your career or your education for one bad grade? Now you don't think you're smart enough. Now you don't think you belong. See, I knew it. That's how we sabotage ourselves, because of insecurities or fear, or feelings of not being capable, feelings of not being worthy of certain things. A lot of times we self-sabotage when we place the blame on other people when something goes wrong. Sometimes we self-sabotage when we have a lack of discipline and control. I.e., I'm at the gym working out. I go in there and I'm in there 45 minutes to an hour. I'm coming out, I'm sweating. I done had a good workout. Then did all my shoulders, my abs, and the leg. Come right out of there and walk right on over to the KFC that's in the parking lot of the Planet Fitness. Kentucky Fried Chicken right there. And then if I don't go there and get the chicken and the biscuit, I'm going to go on over to the McDonald's just across the way, right there in the same parking lot, and get the and the fry and the caramel cap. Now I just done had a good workout, and I just sabotaged myself everything that I just worked out in this gym with a chicken biscuit in the thigh and a drumstick with the strawberry jam and the. Ain't nobody do that. I did that. I didn't have to walk over there. So my self-sabotaging behavior in that instance is a lack of discipline, a lack of control. So I just canceled out everything I did in the gym by going over to the Kentucky Fried Chicken or the McDonald's. I ain't do it once either. It was like a routine. That don't make sense. Yeah, it didn't. Ooh, child, it didn't make sense. Like, and as I was leaving the gym, feeling good about myself, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking about myself as I walk over to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm talking about myself. Now, you know you don't need to be going over here doing this, but girl, that biscuit. I'm talking to myself. It's a little humorous, but I just sabotaged everything that I just went in there and worked on. And why am I going in the gym anyway? To work on myself. Fried chicken and a biscuit is not part of working on you getting abs and losing weight. That's not part of the workout program. I have never seen where fried chicken and a biscuit is part of a workout regimen. And I know that. I know better. See, that's my own self-sabotage behavior. A lot of times we have self-sabotaging behaviors due to inadequacy. We don't feel adequate enough. We don't feel smart enough. I was talking to someone this week. They said they just didn't feel smart. Well, who told you weren't smart? Where did that come from? Sometimes our behaviors can show up in overindulging or procrastination. You know, those are some of the ways that our own self-sabotaging behaviors manifest. So if you see yourself doing, these types of, or responding in a way that you can recognize, like, why am I responding this way? Or why don't I want to go? Or, just question your reason for making that change. Question your reason for procrastinating. Why do you want to put it off? Why won't you go ahead and do it now? You see what I'm saying? Why don't you feel good enough? Why do you tell yourself, why do you speak to yourself in a negative way to talk yourself out of something? Why? And we have to really get to the core of these behaviors. Again, it's rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear. You're scared of something. You don't want to at the core, self-sabotaging behavior is an unconscious attempt to protect yourself. It's your mind keeping you safe from a perceived fear of being exposed, a fear of abandonment, a fear of intimacy, a fear of, not knowing something, or a fear of embarrassment. It could be fear of anything. That's really why we self-sabotage. Let's get into relationships. Let's talk about it in relationships a little bit. Do you sabotage your relationships? Do you sabotage? Have you ever sabotaged your new relationship with your old relationship's poison? Have you used what happened in your old relationship? Have you took that and placed that in your new relationship from the beginning? Have y'all ever done that? Because he did it, and now you so fearful of it happening again. You now this man looking at you like, I'm not him. But you can't get over it. That's sabotage. You can't get over it. Now, it's something you have to work on, something you have to get over. And if you can't get over a previous relationship, you don't need to be going into a new one until you get over it, because it's not fair for this new person. That may not even be his issue. He may have an issue with something else, but this one here that the last one had, that may not be the new one issue. So now you making him feel like So he don't even want the relationship. So you done sabotage this relationship with the last guy, with the last guy's issues. That's sabotaging. That's sabotaging. Say self-sabotaging in relationship occurs when your conscious or subconscious actions get in the way of maintaining a healthy relationship. I've done that with friendships. Yes. Yes. How does that show up with friendships, Isabella? How do you sabotage a friendship? If you don't mind sharing. How do you sabotage in a friendship? There are different ways people sabotage relationships. Sometimes, if y'all have experienced it, sometimes they cause arguments. Sometimes they're being too controlling or distant. Those are common behaviors in sabotaging relationships. Like sometimes they try to control you, or you try to control so much to where it squeezes the person out. Like, okay, this too much. That's a sabotaging type behavior. And you have to get to the bottom of why you are that controlling in your relationship. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes in relationships, I don't know if you've done it or it has been done to you in a relationship. But a lot of times, the relationship, again, self-sabotaging is rooted in fear, and it can stem from trauma or experiences from childhood that shapes your behaviors as an adult. Okay? Ooh. Yeah. Assuming that every friend is like the last friend. Yeah. So if the last friend did you wrong, you got your guard so high up that you just expecting the new friend to do it too. Or your antennas are so high, you didn't even give the new friend a chance. And now that person don't even with this. Ooh, she too. She ain't. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I've even been the type. I'm the type of person that when you show me who you are, I'm done. If it don't, I'm done. And so now I'm looking at the next person. If they do this right here, if it look like it, I used to say if it quack like a duck, it's a duck. I literally had to stop saying that. Because just because somebody quacking don't mean they ducking. It just, sometimes stuff just happen. Sometimes people just do stuff. And it don't always have to be malicious intent or anything like that. But baby, if you trigger something that happened to me before, and we're all like that. Everybody's like that. Nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants to be, taken advantage of and stuff like that. So yeah, it's okay to be guarded, but we have to be able to recognize our self sabotaging behaviors and what it could be doing to our relationships, our education, our life, our success, anything that we're striving for. We have to be careful that we watch those behaviors and get to the bottom of why. Again, you know what you're doing, and you know when you're doing something that ain't right. You know when you shouldn't have said something. You know when your thought is not correct. Your thought is not right. We know that. We know that. And a lot of times people outside, they won't know that. But you know. And again, PC Ministries deals with what you feel from the inside out. And if you have those type of behaviors, you deserve to live without self-defeating behaviors. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve negative self-talk. Negative self-talk. You don't deserve that. And our voice is the loudest voice we hear. And you don't deserve that. A lot of times we self-sabotage for fear of abandonment and rejection. We don't want to be rejected. So, we tend to not pursue. I'm talking about relationships now. Or if they exemplify or show something that makes us it reminds us of a rejected time, or it triggers a time when we were rejected, we'll sabotage that relationship. We won't even give it a chance. Some of us have a fear of intimacy. We don't want nobody too close to us because if sometimes we have a fear of, if they get too close to me and really get to know me, they might not like me. They might not like me. So I don't want to get too close. I don't even give the relationship a chance. You don't even have the ability to share your true self, or become vulnerable, that's required in relationships. You can't be in a relationship and just be hard all the time. I don't know how that works. As a relationship progresses, you have to become vulnerable at some point in time. You have to become intimate. And intimate, I'm not talking about sex. It's just intimate. Share, your thoughts and your heart and with people. And if you are fearful of someone really getting to know you, so you kind of don't want to do that, then you're sabotaging the relationship, because how can the relationship go further if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable? It just doesn't work that way. It won't. It may go for a little while, but it really won't progress, because intimacy and vulnerability and stuff like that is a part of relationships. So if you find yourself doing that, you have to get to the bottom of what happened in your life that has you in a fear of rejection, or has you in a fear of intimacy as it pertains to relationships. You don't want anybody getting too close to you. Now, that doesn't have to be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be friendships and stuff like that as well. When you find yourself backing up, I used to back up, like, if it was a certain type woman doing something, or a certain type person some kind of way, like I had a hard time dealing with women that were like critical and just and just hard, and just, I'm backing all the way up. I'm back. You can look at me funny one time, I'm done. I'm out, because I'm not going to give you the opportunity to hurt me just because they looked at me funny. Maybe they was going through something. Maybe they had Tourette's. I don't know. But I didn't even give it a chance. If I sensed that, and I already, in my situation, I had already walked in with a little bit of a expectation. Okay, let me see what's going to happen. So I was already on defense when I walked in. So I didn't give it a chance from the beginning. And that's my own self-sabotaging behavior. I didn't even give it a chance. Y'all getting it? I mean, it's not like real deep, like the examples and the definitions, but it's just, we have to recognize it. And this broadcast is just to bring awareness to these behaviors, our self-sabotaging ways. A lot of times, behaviors could be ways. All behaviors could be ways to sabotage relationships subconsciously before it even has a chance to grow. At the core of self-sabotaging behavior is an unconscious attempt to protect yourself. So a lot of times we have fear of abandonment, intimacy, all that stuff. And we have to get to the bottom of why we have these behaviors. A lot of times we have trust issues. One of the top ways we self-sabotage with trust issues is because of relationship anxiety. Your issues are fed by fear of losing someone, so you become paranoid. This could include the trust issues, and the paranoia could include jealousy, control, being possessive, and it become so uncomfortable that it'll drive you away or drive another person away, because you have trust issues. And it's just suffocating the mate, your mate or your potential mate. There's just suffocated by your trust issues, and all the way. Though these are considered self-sabotaging behaviors. Sometimes people cause arguments. Have y'all ever been with a guy that just start picking arguments, making something out of nothing? He sabotaged it because maybe he had a fear of intimacy, or maybe he didn't want it to go too close, or he wasn't sure. He didn't want to let you go, but he kind of stringing you along a little bit, so he just kind of pick a argument every now and then just to kind of keep it Yeah, these are self-sabotage, not just in you, but in other people. Sometimes you can stonewall somebody. You can ignore them. You never pay attention to their needs. All of these are self-sabotaging behaviors in relationships. You can be emotionally unavailable, just not even don't have compassion for the other person, and you do that so you protect. You don't want to be too vulnerable for whatever your reasons are. We ain't even gonna talk about cheating. That's the very painful way to sabotage a relationship. We're not even gonna talk about that. Some people nitpick. Why do you nitpick? What makes you nitpick in relationships? Some people don't like to commit. And like I said earlier, sometimes you quit before it even get real. At the first sign of a challenge, you out. Sabotage the relationship, or sabotage the friendship, or sabotage the job, or because it got a little hard, or they want you to do something that you don't feel, something you've never done before, or something you kind of feel inadequate about. You out. It. Yeah, yeah. So again, this I knew this wasn't going to be a long conversation, just because it's really nothing definite like that. It's just to help us to recognize our own self-sabotaging behaviors and what triggers them. Like, what fear am I operating out of that's causing me to want to sabotage whatever it is? Like, where is that coming from? A lot of times, to help us to stop it, we have to examine our actions and our attitudes. We have to analyze, why. You have to ask yourself why. You have to pay attention to your actions and your thoughts and your behaviors, and really ask yourself why. It's like a gut check, self-examination. That's what you have to do to begin to stop these type of self-sabotaging behaviors. You have to work on your esteem, work on your confidence in the area. If you self-sabotage because you feel inadequate, who told you were inadequate? What makes you inadequate? Why do you feel that you're not good enough? Why do you feel that you're not worthy enough? Why do you feel that you're not beautiful enough, or you're not equipped enough for the job? Or why do you feel like that? Ask yourself that, and then keep asking why. Keep asking why. Where did that come from? And you'll get to the bottom of where it's potentially coming from. Again, a lot of our stuff comes from childhood and just things that we've experienced. We all went through elementary, we all went through middle school, and some of the worst years of your life as far as peer pressure and bullying and all of this stuff. And that stuff attaches itself to us, and we bring it with us into our adulthood unknowingly. We have sometimes we have complexes about ourselves based off of what someone said. And kids are kids. Kids can be cruel. We didn't know no better in middle school. We just saying all kind of stuff, and you don't know what somebody is dealing with in middle school and high school, and coming on what they're dealing with at home, and then they get to school, they got to do. You just never know. And unfortunately, the enemy's job, he goes to and fro like a roaring lion, seeing who he can devour. And if he can sow a seed of negativity and we take it and run with it, or sow a seed into our life that keeps us bound like that, and then it just grows up in us into our adulthood, some of our actions and our behaviors are based out of that negativity. And a lot of times, like I said earlier, we're worried about the opinions of people, and them people ain't even thinking about us. But we're telling ourselves that. So we have to build our own confidence. If you don't think you're beautiful, why? Like, what about you is not beautiful? You have experienced that too. Yes. What about you is because do you feel like you're not beautiful because you're comparing yourself to someone else? How is that authenticity? See, you have to ask yourself that. Some people don't like their skin tone. That's your skin, beautiful skin. Beautiful. But because you're comparing yourself, or somebody didn't like your skin tone, or somebody was jealous and they said something when you was younger and it hurt your feelings and you never addressed it, or what have you. See, we can develop behaviors, self-defeating behaviors as a result of other people. So you really have to ask yourself, why do you feel that way about yourself? Or why, if you're a person who's always telling yourself negative things, why am I, question yourself, why did I just say that to myself? Or if you feel I know for me, sometimes I'll feel my personality dip. And if I'm paying attention, I have to be like, okay, why did I just dip right there? You see what I'm saying? So we really have to be, Zetra says she was bullied growing up. Yeah. Yeah. That's all, being bullied and picked on is kind of a part of life growing up as children. Elementary, middle school, high school, trying to be accepted, trying to fit in, trying to find your identity, all of that. And a lot of times, like I said, children can be unfair. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know what we're saying and how damaging what we're saying and what we're doing to our friends in school, in elementary and middle school. We don't know the damage that can cause. And bullying is hard to deal with. But we take some of that stuff personal. And if we have never been able to talk to an adult about it, or if we tried, again, this is how some of the self-sabotaging behaviors can be built up in us, is if we tried to talk to an adult about it and our voices were not heard, or we were not properly nurtured or properly talked to, or what have you, and it just went unhandled, or our voices were not heard, or our emotions were not taken care of, and all of that plays into our behaviors and how we look at certain things and how we deal with certain things. I know me growing up, a lot of times I couldn't, when I would have certain emotions and certain things, my mother was so critical. She was very critical of me, of her daughters, not her sons, her daughters. So everything we did was something wrong with it, or it just wasn't right, or I didn't do that right, or it was always something wrong with everything I did, unless it was something that made her look good. And I love my mother, so I'm just sharing with how this stuff gets put into us. So why would I want to talk about what happens to me? Why would I even want to express how I'm feeling about something when it's not going to be addressed? I'm not going to really feel heard. And again, sometimes parents do the best they could. They do the best they can because maybe she didn't know either. Maybe nobody helped her with hers. So how's she going to help me with hers and nobody helped me with hers? How's she going to help me with mine if nobody helped her with hers? See, so I'm not saying, she did it intentionally or whatever. Sometimes the parents do the best they can. And as parents, myself, did the best I could with mine. So it's just unfortunate. Sometimes things will happen. Sometimes things will go unaddressed. Sometimes things will just not, you don't get what you should have gotten at the time. And I didn't get that emotional support with a lot of girl things and a lot of emotional type things and traumas and bullying. I didn't get that. So you, in sense, you kind of grow up not even allowing yourself to feel emotions. Like, why? Nobody cares. So why even act like that bothers me, or why even, so nobody cares. So you learn how to deal with it on the inside, which is, y'all see why I have a ministry of dealing with what you feel from the inside out? Because it's not healthy. It's just not healthy, and it turns into self-defeating behaviors, self-sabotage. You sabotage your own health by holding all this trauma in, and you can't do that. Your body was not intended. God did not have, that's not being a faithful steward over the body that God gave us. It's not meant to hold trauma. It's not meant to hold depression and sickness and worry and doubt and all of this stuff. We have to address these things. And if we have self-sabotaging behaviors, you have to ask yourself, why? Why am I responding this way? You have to understand that you are worthy. If you were self-sabotaging relationships due to fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not feeling worthy, you have to know that you are worthy of love. And anytime you're in a relationship, both parties is taking a chance on love. I've been married for 28 years. We just celebrated 28 years of marriage last Saturday. And although it's been 28 years, no separation, no divorce, no cheating, none of that kind of stuff, you still take a chance on love. Like, you can only control yourself. My husband is my husband, and he shows me that he loves me dearly, and he has for 28 years. Even through cancer, he honored his vows in sickness and in health. That's a whole nother story, that a chapter in our life that we hadn't experienced before. But I can't control him. He has to want to be here. He has to want to love me. He has to want, and the same for me. So anytime you're in a relationship, you take a chance at love, but you have to have your own self-worth. You have to go into these relationships with your own self-worth, your own confidence. You have to teach people how to treat you. And if you don't do certain things and you don't allow it, then you don't allow it. But you don't water yourself down. You don't sabotage it for fear of rejection. We have to learn how to deal with rejection. Rejection is a part of life, and it's a part of education, workforce, relationships, all of that. You're going to get rejected somewhere, and we have to learn how to deal with that. So you have to understand that you are worthy of love, and you can invest in relationships. You don't have to worry about a fear of intimacy, or you need to get to the bottom of it. You have to get to the bottom of it. A lot of times we have self-criticism as self-sabotaging, negativity, negative self-talk, like we talked about earlier. So again, this broadcast tonight really wasn't like real deep or real versatile in a sense. It's just to bring awareness and hopefully encourage you all to examine some of the areas that we talked about. And some of the areas we talked about, you may not even experience those, but just to bring awareness to any self-sabotaging behaviors or attitudes that you may have, or that you may recognize within yourself, and then encourage you to get to the bottom of why you have that behavior, or why you are acting in a way, or why you're responding to something in a way, why you have a fear of rejection, why do you have a fear of intimacy, why you have a fear of inadequacy, why is your self-esteem low. You have to ask yourself all of those questions as it pertains to why you self-sabotage certain things. Just because you make a bad decision does not mean you don't need to make any more decisions. Just because you had one bad relationship where he wasn't good enough or what have you, or he treated you bad, does not mean they're all going to be that way. So you can't take the poison from your old relationship into your new relationship. That's not fair to the new person, and that's not fair to you. Because if you keep doing that in your dating world, you ain't gonna never have no relationship. Because everybody is not like the last person you dated. And if everybody is like the last person you dated, there's a common denominator in the datery. You might need to take a step back from dating and spend some time with yourself, so you won't attract the same buffoonery. That's another live. That's a whole nother live. We won't get into that. So again, I thank you all for tuning in to PC Ministries, where we deal with what we feel from the inside out. I hope something was said tonight. I know this was kind of irky-jerky a little bit, But again, the attempt was to just shed some awareness on self-sabotaging behavior, so we can recognize it in ourselves. We can recognize when we're being sabotaged in relationships and where have jobs or what have you. You can recognize it yourself and then take accountability for it, and then begin the work to stop the behaviors again. So I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you for your continued support of PC Ministries. My next broadcast live will not be next Thursday. I need you all to go to Eventbrite and register to attend my Fight for Your Health, Mind, Body, and Soul, which is taking place at the Cocoa Civic Center next Thursday and Friday, October the 21st and the 22nd, I believe it is. But it's next Thursday and Friday at the Cocoa Civic Center. The event is free, but registration is required for seating capacities and things like that. So if you are not busy next Thursday and Friday, you really need to be at the Cocoa Civic Center at 7 p.m. We're going to have live breast exam examples. We're going to show you how to do self breast exams starting at 6 p.m. prior to the event starting. So if you want information on how to do your self breast exam, or you want somebody to show you how to do it, then you need to be at the Civic Center at 6, from 6 to 6:45, so we can show you how to do your self breast exam. We're going to have a petition there to where we can get behind the petition, and we can literally, because I'm a visual person, literally show you what to do and what you're looking for. Okay, again, we're not doctors or nurses or OBGYN. We're just doing our part to show you how to do these things. Okay, so that'll be Thursday and Friday from 6 to 6:45, both nights. And then we will have going to our Find Your Fight, Mind, Body, and Soul at 7 p.m. And you don't want to miss this. If you are someone that's been dealing with sickness, depression, you just been beat down by life, whatever it is, and you just don't have the motivation you used to have, don't have that zeal or that oomph that you used to have, you need to make your way next Thursday and Friday. You need to make your way, because you got to find your fight. You deserve to pick yourself up and get back in the fight and go from defense to offense. Stop letting the devil just punch at you and swing at you, and you just take it. We need to start swinging back. So these 2 nights is to empower us all to find our fight, get back in the ring, and start fighting for our life, fighting for our health, fighting for our marriages, fighting for our children, fighting for our relationships, and mind, body, and soul. That's what this is all about. It's not just about breast cancer. We need to fight for our health, fight for our life, our relationships, our marriages, everything. That's what these 2 nights are about. So if you have not registered, please go to Eventbrite. Registrations will end on, I believe, Monday. So after Monday, there won't be any more registration options available, because we have to begin getting it together. So go to Eventbrite and register for next Thursday and Friday. Those of you that are in the Titusville and Mims area, I will be ministering at the Love Center Church in Titusville this Sunday, the 16th. I believe their service starts at 10:30 or 10:30 or 11. But so be on the lookout for a flyer for that. But yours truly has been asked to come back again this year at the Love Center Church in Titusville to share my testimony with breast cancer. So if you're not busy, would love for you to come and support. But keep your girl lifted in prayer. Love you all. Thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully I will see y'all next Thursday at the Cocoa Civic Center. Love y'all. Have a wonderful evening and an even better weekend. Love y'all.